Howdy ho, everybody. Will here with Leo the Lion. Say hello to Leo. Reason I have Leo the Lion here as my mascot these days is to show that we have to be strong to prepare. So, Leo, go sit down, relax. Hey, since I've been doing this, I really haven't told you guys much about how I came to prepare. When I started doing it, it wasn't called preparedness. It was just called good old know-how of knowing what to do and when to do it. It all started for me back when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and my mom and my dad, we would go out and we would go hunting. And I was 7 or 8, but they would still just give me the shotgun and say, hey, go out and have a little bit of fun out in the woods. So off I would go, and then they would stay back at the camp and they would drink coffee and do what big people do, hang out. And so I would go out and I would track rabbits or whatever, and I would shoot them, but my dad always told me only shoot what you need. So I learned at a young age that you only take what you need from life. And so that's sort of how I all started out. My mom and dad would take me out hunting, fishing, and camping. And they were real big on the outdoors. My dad was really big on teaching me how to survive in the outdoors if anything were to happen to me. So if I was to get lost or separated from him, then I could take care of myself until help came. And I always stayed that way all the way through my life. So what happened was, as I got older, I found more and more things that were more important to me. And then all of a sudden, when I was 46, the Lord decided to give me something to keep me busy, which was my son. And so I raised him, and I tried to teach him everything that I was taught by my parents about being out in the woods and taking care of yourself and fishing and only keeping what you needed and letting the rest go back and all this stuff. Well, it created I instilled such a good, I can't remember the word, but that he liked it so well that he became a Boy Scout. Well, when he became a Boy Scout, the troop asked me to come in and help out. So that's what I did, was we went and we helped the boys get their merit badges and take them to camps and let them be socialized with other scouts so that they could learn from them. And we more or less taught them how to survive if something were to happen. If you really think about it, if you know anything about Boy Scouts, their motto is be prepared. So it kind of all fit hand in hand, And when he aged out of that because the hormones kicked in, well, then I still am interested in the outdoors to this day, even though my health really doesn't let me do too much outside. I push myself to the limit and make myself do things that I don't really like to be doing. So, as you well know, that's pretty much the way I am. I've always been an outdoor kind of guy. So, I just wanted to let you guys kind of know where I'm at. I'm not some guy that's lived in the city my whole life and sat in a house or an apartment and just kind of let the world go by. That's not who I am or how I've ever been my whole life. So here's things that you need to know, and there's things that you need to know. And part of what I think you need to know is how to prepare for when shit hits the fan. And that's what they call it these days. We just called it surviving back in my day. So I got some notes here, and we're going to be going over some stuff. And some of the things is that you should always have at least 1,000 rounds of ammo of your weapon of choice, whether it's a pistol or a shotgun or an AR or whatever. Even if it's all three, whatever, you need to have at least 1,000 rounds of ammo for each of your firearms. And that's always just a rule of thumb. You can have more, but because you're going to probably be bartering some of it away. And somebody else was telling me, hey, you shouldn't be bartering your ammo because say you gave that guy some ammo, what's he going to do? He's going to turn around and shoot you, take the rest of your ammo. But I have too much faith in the humankind. I think that he would just be looking for a trade to help his family out by getting some ammo so he could go out and hunt for food. So that's what I would say, is just to keep your ammo in check. Don't trade too much away, because then you won't have what you need. Another thing is you should get into the habit of carrying at least these 6 things for your everyday carry. And here's what I've got, and you can add to it, but I think everybody should have a concealed permit. I don't know how your state works that or anything, but I think if your state allows it, you should have a concealed permit and carry a weapon. I think that's everybody's right as an American. Coffee for my friends. Also, you need to carry around a flashlight. Those little mag lights work good. They just clip right in your pants. Also, a good pocket knife. Doesn't have to be a $100 one like everybody says. It can be just a regular knife. I have one that's a flip open one that has a little clip that goes on your belt. I think it cost me $7 or $8, and it's sharp as it can get and helps out quite a bit. Another thing is you should always carry your phone with you, a cell phone, for emergencies in case you get in trouble. Then you should also have a compass. Now, my knife has a compass built into it. It's probably not the best compass in the world, but it would probably get me out of a bind if I really needed to. And then you should also carry around either a notebook or just a little pad with a pen so you can write down things. Say you get in trouble and you need to leave your location, you can write a note and leave it for someone to find if they come looking for you. So I think those are some pretty key things there. And then there's also your bug out bag. Always make sure that you carry your bug out bag. And those of you that know, a bug out bag is just a bag that you carry around with you on a daily basis to make sure that you have things that you need. On my bug out bag, we've gone through my bug out bag before, and I'm gonna be doing a video here real soon. We're gonna be doing a new bug out bag. It's gonna be for the spring/summer, so I won't have to carry all the winter items that I carry during the winter. But carry a bug out bag. Always try to keep enough stuff in there that you can survive for 3 days if you need to. We know probably not going to be 3 days, but 3 days would be a good thing to look into. And then the other thing is you need to carry a medical trauma kit. Now, I'm not talking about that little bitty thing that you get at the store. I'm talking about enough of a kit that you could help somebody out in a situation. You could close off their wound or possibly close a wound. A big enough trauma kit that if something really bad should happen, you can help people out. And I'm a firm believer in helping people whenever possible. Another thing is water. You're going to need water. You're going to need food. You're going to need clothing. Need to have a stove. I have a little portable one. Excuse me, my camera's getting away from me here. Let me fix it real quick. There. The selfie stick doesn't want to work right. I have a little bitty stove. It's about this big around, and it just folds up and flops right into my bag, and then I have some of that Sterno stuff, and it sits underneath, and that way if I get stranded, I do have a way of keeping myself going. Also, one firearm, flashlights, and a big lantern. LED lights are fine, but if you're going to be out more than one day, then you may want to think about maybe a little kerosene lamp or something like that, so that you can really take care of yourself. LED lights are fine. I don't have any problem with that. I have several of them. They work great. But just in case, a little kerosene lamp isn't going to cost you too much. You can get those little cans of Sterno, you don't really have to have a lot. And it's just something that I think is really important that you have. So, what I got too is a wind-up radio. I don't know if you guys got them or not, but I found mine on sale at Walmart, I believe. I think I paid $9.99 for it. You wind it up. It comes with a strobe light for trouble. It comes with a flashlight. Comes with a radio on it so that you can see what's going on, if something if shit should hit the fan somewhere in your area or whatever. You can tune in and find out what's going on. Also has what the hell is it? A locator. It goes beep, beep, beep. It's louder than hell. You don't really want me to go into it or go get it. So those are things that you need to have. And the last thing I'm going to go over before we go for today, because we're getting close to my time limit here, is I want to go through the 10, what I call the 10 most important things that you need to have for when shit hits the fan. And these are not necessarily 1 to 10, 1 being the best or 10 being the worst. It's just, I think that these are things that a guy should have, and it's very important that you have during when shit hits the fan. So I'm going to start at the bottom of my list, because I think that's probably okay, because then we'll build up to the what I call the number one thing. So 10 would be make sure that you are good with your people skills. Learn to listen to people and talk to them, and not talk down to them or talk up to them, but genuinely listen to them, because they're going to give you information that may be very helpful to your situation. So I think people skills should be in the top 10 thing. Another thing is communication. Make sure that you're always going to have your phone, a radio, maybe a walkie-talkie, something you can communicate with. And then learn how to use tools. A lot of people are from the city, and they're kind of savvy with hammers, putting nails in the wall and stuff, but can you actually build something? Maybe you need to build a shelter or something. So if you're not real savvy into that, maybe watch some YouTube videos, buy some books, whatever, because shit hits the fan. You may have to build your own shelter. You may have to go out, find something, build your own shelter, and if you don't know how to use the tools to do that, could be in big trouble, So that's another thing. So another thing is food storage. We all know that some food lasts longer than others. And the expiration date on them is not necessarily the due date. But you do need to learn how to rotate through your food. And that is checking it from time to time and rotating it in and out so that it's going to stay fresh and you're not going to get sick from it. Another thing is gardening. If you don't know how to garden, maybe you should learn. Because if shit hits the fan, you're going to have to provide for your family or for your neighbors or whatever. So learn how to garden. Go out and plant you a small garden and practice. You don't have to keep it forever, but it would help, to do that, because the next thing is canning. You need to can some of your food so it'll last. canning is the best way to get your food to last the longest, like 10 years at least, So then you would make sure that you have what you need to be subsistent. And then cooking, if you don't know how to cook, learn how. And I don't know many people today that don't know how, but if you don't know how, maybe you should watch some YouTube videos or go out and practice in the kitchen when your honeydew is at work or whatever, but just go out and learn a few things so that you can stay alive. And next is first aid. You should always have first aid knowledge. I'm a believer that the little kits are fine if you're going out for the weekend or whatever, because you're going to be close enough to a city that you can get to a ER if necessary. But I'm talking about more. That's all I can say. More. Let's know things like CPR and how to use one of those artificial defibrillators if need be, and know how to close up wounds, and more than just a regular first aid. I mean, these are things that you're going to really need to know when things go wrong. So that's a very important thing. And then next would be risk assessment. So you have to be able to think it through in your head about the risk that you have to take to do these other things. You would have to prioritize, I guess would be the right word. Your risk assessment would be, prioritizing. So you have to prioritize your risks. So that comes up to frugality. Frugality or some, I can't pronounce the word. But it's being very stingy with what you have. Like money. You got to learn to save your money so you can buy the other stuff that you need to prepare. If you have the stuff that you're going to need to prepare, be frugal with it so that you don't have to buy more. We all know you have to rotate through it, but you have to learn how to do it. So, frugality is the big thing. And here's number one thing is you have to be an organizer. Organization is the key to being able to survive when shit hits the fan. You will have to know what to do and when to do it and have a clear head when you do it. So these are the 10 things I think that you need to know in order to survive when shit hits the fan. If you know these things, it's great, but it never hurts to learn more. So for today, that's all I have, and I'm hoping that we can get something going down in the comments section, because these are 10 of the most important things that you'll need to do when shit hits the fan. And if you can't become proficient in that, then you'll probably have a harder time of staying alive. That's the bottom line, is you'll have a hard time staying alive if you cannot at least master these 10 things. So leave a comment below. Hit the subscription button if you haven't. Hit the bell that tells you when I make videos. I make at least one a day. And then there'll be some other stuff down below telling you where you can get a hold of me in other places. Also, if you want to donate, there'll be an address down there where you can go to donate to the cause. And today was kind of an overcast day, and it's kind of cold outside, so I thought I would just sit here and have a little coffee and talk to you guys for a few minutes and try to get the dialogue going so that some of the newer people are new to being prepared can get going, and the people that are already knowledgeable may have seen something that they've forgotten. That's all I mean to say. So for now, I'm going to say ta-ta. I hope you guys have a super day, and God bless.